I feel I had a very normal upbringing, very normal family. I had a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister. Um, my parents adopted me, then they adopted my sister, and then they had my brother. All growing up, my parents would always ask my sister and I, do you feel like, do you want us to help find your parents or your biological siblings? And I never felt like I needed to. I was always very happy. I was very content. I felt that I didn't need to. I mean, that was mom and that was dad. We had heard growing up, you know, as you grow up, you hear that you might have abandonment issues and so forth. But at this point, I really didn't. They chose me. I felt very normal, happy upbringing. It wasn't till mom started to get sick that my life started changing. We always thought growing up that dad would go first. Mom was healthy. Mom didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she exercised, she's mostly vegetarian, thin. So we just felt, we didn't expect it at all. So when she started falling apart and started getting sick and we knew we were gonna lose her, I just jumped right into the taking care of her and taking care of dad and preparing for what was gonna happen, because until that happens to you, you have no idea what it feels like. And the sicker she got, in a way, the sicker I got, because I didn't do anything very healthy. I just took care of her, and the sicker she got, the less I'd sleep, the more I'd worry, the more depression and anxiety I would have. I never realized what anxiety and depression was, and you don't until you go through something like this. We all know what it's like to lose somebody, but losing a parent was completely different. It was crippling for me watching her. The one that was my biggest supporter. Your parents are your lifeblood. You know, they're there before, during, and so when losing mom, as she was getting sicker and sicker, and I was sleeping less and less, and my depression and anxiety started clicking in, I realized that I was going to have to do something, or it was going to, depression and anxiety was going to get me. After losing mom, the depression and the anxiety really took over and enhanced everything. And one of the things that it enhanced was my abandonment issues. When you're weak mentally and physically like that, and depression and anxiety, all sorts of things can go on in your mind, and your day is gloomy. Your day is when all your energy is trying to take care of dad, and all your energy is trying to work because you've got to make a living. Thank goodness I enjoy what I do, because the good and bad news was I was able to throw myself into work. And the fact that I liked my job so much, it was easy. Just let that to consume me. Let it consume me. Give me another sentence.
So I knew I had to do something to help myself.
Okay.
Point, it was too much, and so I started seeking out help.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. I knew at some point that I was going to have to make some changes because it was not working the way it was working. So I reached out for some help. And there's nothing wrong with reaching out for help. I talked to doctors, I talked to pastors, I talked to friends, counselors, and they all have ideas. I had doctors tell me, have some tea before you go to bed. Some would say exercise. Some would say have a glass of wine. Some would even say, I live in California, and some would even say smoke some marijuana. You know, do whatever it takes so you can calm yourself, so you can sleep, so when you get up you can handle it better. I believe there's nothing wrong with medication, short term. I personally have to be careful because short term's hard for me. When something works and it's great, You have to remember your mind is in such a cloud. You're so consumed by this anxiety and this depression that you'll do anything to feel better. When we lost Mom, again, all my energy went into Dad. All my energy went into preparing for what's going to probably happen with Dad. After you lose a parent, you think you're prepared, and I wanted so carefully to do things better as we were starting to lose Dad, when Dad started being hospitalized. But again, there comes that creepy anxiety and creepy depression. You know, as a child, everybody has days that you're depressed. Maybe a day here and a day here, but when those days turn into weeks and those weeks turn into months, it's crippling, and you have to find ways to come out of that. You have to find ways, and there are ways to come out of your depression and your anxiety. It's only been 4 years since Mom. It's been a month since Dad passed. My blood pressure is still high. I am on 3 different medications for my blood pressure. Here we go again, trying to find the right ways to handle this and not the wrong ways to handle this. Part of the reason that I agreed to do this project was selfishly for me, because it does help to talk about it. It does help to know that there are other people that are going through this. It helps to know that there are other people that have already gone through this and made it through on the other side. It's the depression is and the anxiety is crippling, like I had said earlier. If this project could help one person skip over some of the stuff that I've had to deal with, then it's worth it. And because there are ways, things like music. There are ways that you can. I listen to music all the time. I have prayer. I do talk to a therapist. I do talk to friends. You have to be a little careful when you're talking to friends, because I have a friend that lost his dad when he was 12, and his reaction to me was, "At least you had your dad for 57 years." And I want to say, yeah, but I want 58 years. I want 59 years. I have other friends that would say, well, they lived a good life. They lived a long life. Yeah, but you want longer. You need longer. I have friends that said, well, at least you still have one mom, my biological mom. So you have to be careful on what you listen to and how you listen to it. You've really got to listen to yourself. For me, it helps. Prayers is the strongest thing for me to get through those moments. There are days when it happens every day. Things jump out at me. Trigger points jump out at me. One of the trigger points for me is just I was at the grocery store the other day, and I used to do all the Mom and Dad's grocery shopping. I just happened to glance at a shelf, and there were ginger snap cookies. I don't eat ginger snap cookies, but my dad loved them. I actually kind of reached for them. I realized I couldn't get them. I couldn't buy them. And that pain, literally like a knife, hits your heart. You just miss them so much. I saw my dad's wallet the other day, and I opened up his wallet, and there were like 11 singles in there. And for some reason, that just hit me so hard, because that was his property. That was something he carried for so many years, and I just broke down because I didn't know what am I going to do with $11. It was his. You know, I didn't. All these trigger things hit you on an airplane. I do a lot of traveling for work, and I for 27 years, every time I get on a plane and land, I'd call Mom, because that was just a habit. That was just a thing that I always did. And when I would arrive back in LAX, even while I'm on the plane, I'd call Mom and say I'd landed safely. Now I reach for my phone, I have no one to call. There are things that have helped me, and I'll share them with you. I hope that they'll help you. Exercise. And I don't mean for me, I don't mean just walking. When I walk, I think. I mean like basketball or racquetball or football or tennis or something like that, where it's really physical. And for that hour or 2 hours, you don't have any chance to think about anything but what you're doing. And that physical exercise is really, really good for you. I mentioned earlier about music. I listen to music all the time. I have to be a little careful because certain music, certain songs, certain artists trigger something. Even if you're in an elevator, you'll hear a song that reminds you of your mom or your dad, and it hurts. But I also stopped drinking coffee, and I drink a lot more water, and I double up on my vitamins. And if I feel, and it happens every day, I feel if I have an anxiety attack coming or a depression sinking in or gloom, that I just take a few times for me. I go outside, I talk to the Lord about it, but even if you just go outside and just breathe, take those moments, those alone moments, whether it's once a day or 10 times a day. Grief, everybody handles grief differently. There's no correct timeline. There's no right or wrong way to grieve. I did things wrong. And that's why I'm hoping by doing this and talking and saying it out loud, not only does it heal me, but hopefully it'll help you too. There are ways to get over the hump, to get over the fear.
That's good. I want you to stay in that position, and I want you to say something about calling a friend for help and talking to a trusted friend, healthy friends, how important it is to talk to them.
Okay. I'm so thankful for the friends that I have that truly understand me. Don't be afraid to ask your friends for what you need and you want. And sometimes I've called a friend and say, don't even talk. Don't say you understand. Don't hug me. Just be next to me, and just listen. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to talk to your family and your friends, or a pastor or a counselor. Talking out loud, writing stuff down in a journal. Even if you don't think it makes sense, write it down and also repeat it back. Read it out loud. That has really helped me. My dad passed away on his 90th birthday. We were able as a family to be there with him that day. After losing Mom, there were certain things that I wanted to do, lots of things that I wanted to do differently. One of them was I wanted to record more of stuff on Dad. Like when Dad would leave me a phone message on my cell phone, I wouldn't delete it. Now, I don't know if this is good or bad or healthy or unhealthy. I'm just telling you what I've done. I have not been able to delete the couple of messages that I have from Mom. And when we were losing Dad, I doubled up with him and had him talk about stuff and sing some songs on camera. Now, I haven't been able to watch them as of yet. It's only been a month. If there was a doctor here next to me, he might say that's not healthy, but I want to have that. And I have it. I haven't been able to watch it yet, but I know there'll come a point when I will be able to watch that and I'll be able to hear his voice. And I think that will be helpful when the time is right. So here I sit in a park doing this project. I've lost both my parents now. I am still searching for comfort. I'm still searching for peace. It's a daily journey, but I do feel that I feel confident that in time I will find that peace. I will find that comfort. I know that this is a journey. I wish I didn't have to go through it. The pain. I'm upset with myself at some points because I didn't go through it very healthy. But I am on the other end of it, and it's not going to get worse for me. It's going to get better for me because I am going to stay in prayer. I'm going to stay in therapy. I'm going to watch my diet. I'm going to continue to journal. I'm going to continue to listen to music. I'm going to continue to talk. I'm going to continue to help people. Now, when I talk to people that are about to lose their parents, I can honestly say to them, I know just how you feel. 4 years ago, I couldn't say that. A month ago, I still had one left. Now I know what it feels like to not have a parent. I know what it feels like to die a little when you lose someone you care about so much, when you lose your foundation. But every day is better, and it'll be better for you too.